So this week we're going to be showcasing my friends Nick and Lauren's beautiful 40-foot skoolie. I really think you guys are going to like this thing. So I'm Devin and welcome back to the Basically Nomads bus. Let's go check it out.
Welcome into our skoolie. You're standing currently in our foyer, which has a nice area for our keys and our dog leashes. This area we didn't touch for a long time. We didn't know what we wanted to do with it. And when we finally decided I wanted something that would pop and be just a really refreshing thing to see when you walk in, that would make you smile. So I added this really bright yellow wallpaper that just kind of feels really welcoming and inviting. If you guys want to come back, we'll show you some more of our bus. So now you're standing in our living room / dining room. So over here we have our couch. Right now it is in couch mode. Most times that we are hanging out in here, it's in bed mode. It pulls out to the size of a twin XL. That way when we have guests over, they have somewhere to sleep. It's also really great for 2 humans and 2 dogs when you want to hang out at the end of the day. We can all kind of spread out and fit comfortably. We also have some nice armrests with a cup holder on each side, and each side actually has a drawer so that we can house things like our laptops or just anything else that we want to stow away at the end of the day. Up here we have our TV. We actually splurged a little and got a Samsung frame TV. We knew that you had to really be intentional with the space, and we didn't want something that when it was off would just be a big black screen and be an ugly thing to look at. So we usually have our pictures up on it of places we've been. And then we also built out this little entertainment center and got some custom baskets made. They house things like a junk drawer or dog toys, anything else you can think of. All right, now we're gonna head into the dining room / kitchen. This area is the first time you're gonna see that the roof actually raises up. And we actually took out all of the bus windows and added in just a few RV windows. After living in the bus for about 3 months full time, we realized there was just a lot of wasted space in our build, and we wanted to add a few pieces to make it function a little better. So we built out this entire left side of the bus. So we started with the dinette. This has just enough area for us to both sit and eat or work at during the day. And then there's also storage underneath each of these so that we have a little bit more space to store extra things. This table also comes off the leg and drops down into another couch. So if me and the dogs want to cuddle, Nick can come over here and just hang out by himself. As we come back a little bit further, we have the kitchen. This was actually the only part of the kitchen that we had when we first moved into our build. We had an induction stove and a convection oven above the fridge, but after living in it for a while, we realized it just wasn't feasible to have that and be able to run it off of our solar. So we ended up adding the left side, added another set of cabinets, added this nice spice rack, and then added a Greystone 3-burner stove and oven. It runs on propane, so it doesn't affect our solar whatsoever. All of our cabinets are actually from Home Depot. They were pre-made, pre-painted. It was just a lot more efficient for us, both with time and money, to just buy something and slap it in a day rather than build it all ourselves. All right, so now moving back, we have our fridge. This is actually a residential fridge from Magic Chef. We went with this option because it was extremely energy efficient, and it's actually the only thing that fully runs off of our solar at all times. We can be off grid with this thing filled for at least 2 weeks at a time. Across from our fridge, we have our wood stove. We actually went with a bigger wood stove than most people have in their buses. This is, I believe, the Woodsman. Been really great for cozy nights.
So what in the world made you want to buy a bus?
I didn't even care about traveling, like really. If we had done the whole bus build and then just like gotten rid of it right then, I'd have still been pretty happy.
We gave up a lot doing this build.
Yeah.
We moved the bus like to the middle of nowhere. We missed out on a lot of like weekends out hiking with our friends.
So whose idea was it then? The bus was it yours mostly?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel about that? You happy?
Yeah, I love where my life has taken me. Did I foresee this when I graduated college? No.
You'd be living in a bus?
No.
Yeah.
What are you most proud of that you didn't think that you could do as far as build?
All of
Everything.
I don't know. No, probably the roof raise.
The
I
roof
think
raise.
that's the easy thing. Yeah, because I was just like such a crazy project, and when we finished it, just like looking at it and being able to like stretch up.
Something I've noticed that we have in our bus that not a lot of buses have is a lot of artwork on the walls or pictures. Right here we have Mount Philo State Park. This is actually just another part of Vermont where we bought our land, so we wanted something to bring with us that just we could look at every day and smile. And then again, moving back, we have an entire photo wall of all of Nick and I's like most fond memories, from our first photo ever to our college photos, our wedding day photos. On this side, we have a pantry. This actually worked out perfectly. When we raised the roof, it just so happened to be tall enough to fit an actual pantry that matched the rest of all of our other cabinetry. Tons of storage in here. Holds all of our dry food and cookbooks and anything else we have in there. And then as we move back, we have our closet. We actually didn't really skimp on space at all with the closet. Nick has an entire 3 drawers, I have an entire 3 drawers, and then we actually have an entire space for hanging clothes and an upper closet as well. These are actually pots and pans drawers from Home Depot. We, again, did not want to mess around with building our own cabinets, so we just found something that matched our kitchen and went with it. And then next we have our bathroom. This is one of my favorite spots in the whole bus. I fought tooth and nail to get this tile into the bus. It was probably one of the worst projects that we did. It took us entirely too long, and we spent entirely too much money on this room, but it ended up being one of the staples of our bus. It just makes me happy. So this is actually a wet bath. The entire room can get wet. However, we don't always like it to, so we do have a shower curtain. We have the Nebbia by Moen shower head. We went with this just because it saves a ton of water. We also have just little shelves to store toiletries. Then we have the Nature's Head composting toilet. It's super expensive, but we are so happy with it. Having this toilet actually allows us to not have the need for a black water tank whatsoever. The other thing we have is a little sink in here. A lot of builds don't put a sink in here. I actually love having a designated space. Just kind of makes it feel more like I'm in an actual home as opposed to living in a bus. And then one of the other cool features we have is a door. It's actually the only door on our bus. It is the Nautilus door, and it is a retractable shower door that actually is self-cleaning.
I'll take it from here and jump back to the back. First thing we'll look at is our washer dryer here. So it's a GE all-in-one. It runs really well. It's nice because you can throw everything in here and then forget about it and it'll take care of it. We use this at campgrounds and everything, but we haven't used it off grid yet because it does use a lot of water. Up here we have a little extra storage space for some cleaning supplies and the vacuum cleaners. And then right across the hall is the utility closet. So we have these little magnet doors that we can pull off. It's a little messy here. Basically, I use this as like a standing work desk when I need to get away from her up front. So in here we have the majority of our electrical equipment. We have 1,000 watts of solar on the roof, so that comes down here and goes into our solar charger, which then drops it down to 12 volt and charges our batteries, which are up under here. On this side is our water setup. So we have the manifold here. So the manifold runs basically straight shots to all of our outlets inside. That's a nice feature because all of our joints are right here. So the only place there can be leaks is right in here. Also under here is our 110 gallon water tank for our fresh water. That should do us for about 10 to 15 days of off-grid water consumption.
Now we're back to the bedroom. Below me right here is all of our under storage. It has all of our hiking and outdoor gear, tools, and just other things that don't store well in the front of the bus. And then Nick built me this ladder because, as you can see, the bed is a little bit high and I'm a little bit short.
We have a queen bed and a reading nook in the back, which is mattresses for the dogs.
Nick,
Which is mattresses for the dog.
So here we have our queen bed, and then back behind there we have our reading nook. Once we started sleeping back here, the dogs kind of took it over, so now it's really just the dog bed.
One of the other really unique features is our headboard, and so we have like a 3-dimensional wall, which just adds a little bit of fun to the room since everything is just plywood walls. So we just wanted to add something else to our bus that would make it a little more unique. For a long time is our bathroom, but after, and I love our bathroom. I mean, that bathroom probably took us 2 months. It was just over the top. For a while, that was my favorite part, but I think the kitchen, like the second half of our kitchen, like
And not that like that makes it unique. I think the bathroom makes us unique, but I think the kitchen is my favorite part because I love to cook. I really got into it during the pandemic.
If you could give any advice to somebody that's like decided to do a build this year, what would be something to give them?
Times your deadline by 2 and be okay living in it when it's incomplete.
Definitely like try to move in and use the space. You function so differently in a tiny space. Nick and I like struggled in our last apartment with having 1 bathroom, and here it's like no big deal. But I would say we're probably between 40 and 45,000.
Okay. And so then obviously like this was all done with no previous experience.
Yeah, minus like, I mean, I've done like some woodworking, but nothing like major.
Thank you so much for coming along with us on our tour of our tiny home. We've had so much fun building it, and we put so much love into it, so it's so great that we get to share it with you. You can follow us at Wandering Weinmeisters on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that tour as much as I enjoyed putting it all together for you. But if you want to see another tour, you can click right here. See you next week.